Well, I heard before I came to India, obviously I knew about Bollywood. That's, I think, what everybody knows. And before I came here, I also thought, and all my friends, they said, yeah, you know, these words you need to learn, and they were Hindi. Everybody just assumes that everything in India is Bollywood and Hindi. And I was like, well, actually, I'm going to a different area where they speak a different language. And so, yeah, I didn't know about the Malayalam industry, and I didn't know that much about local art forms that much. I've visited some performances in Munnar, and now I heard about, you know, the traditional dances, and I would love to see some more of it, because I haven't really been able to see enough yet, because this time I was here, I was mainly focusing on film, and we still haven't finished it completely, so I don't want to be distracted too much. But yeah, I mean, I went to Gangster when it was released. Obviously, I wanted to see Mamuka, and I downloaded some films. As soon as I heard, you know, about my role, I started my research a bit and watched some Malayalam films, and I think I like the realistic approach of it, because my first idea was dancing and music, and of course the music is still a very important element, but it's also realistic. It's not just an entertainment show like what lots of people think of most Bollywood films, I think. So that was something I really liked. Yeah, the films, well, before I came here I hadn't watched anything, except Slumdog Millionaire and Life of Pi, and those not really Indian films. Then I downloaded some films. Now I have a whole list of films I want to download, want to see, but the Wi-Fi in my hotel is not strong enough. So as soon as I get home, I'm going to download all these good films that I've been recommended by people I met here. But I watched Red Wine was the first one I watched. I watched Baleri Manikyam. I'm not very good with pronouncing the names. I watched, what were the other ones, Priya? And there was one with different stories about... yeah, and what else did what Gangster we went to. And I watched pieces from Ambedkar. I think maybe something else, but I just don't. While I was here, you know, I was switching on the TV to get a bit more of a flavor of what was going on here on the TV. I just wouldn't be able to tell you exactly the names. But yeah, when I was in Holland, I never heard of Malayalam industry. I never heard of a really good actor named Mammootty. So when they first told me about that, I was like, okay, nice. And then I thought, okay, I'm gonna Google him. And then it was like, all these films he had done. I was like, how are you even able to do so many films? I mean, in Holland, I don't think there are that many films even made in a century or something, you know, like, wow, 380 films or something. God, that's very impressive. So when, you know, and how many awards he won, I was like, okay, this man cannot be, you know, existing. But so, yeah, I was very impressed, obviously, by what he had done. And I still didn't know how crazy the madness would be here, because in Holland, our industry is not that spectacular. Actors are well respected, but they're not like superstars, you know, they can still do their groceries and nobody really cares. I think if Mamuka would do his groceries, and it would be slightly, it would go crazy. So, and that I experienced a few times while we were filming outside, and the crowd who came, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And, you know, like I've never experienced something like that before. It was really crazy. But yeah, and so before my first scene, Yeah, obviously I was a bit nervous, you know, when I heard everything about this man and everybody was adoring him so much. I was like, wow, God, what if I completely don't know my lines anymore, or what if he's really unfriendly, or, you know, he must be so intimidating or something. But he was so nice and friendly and relaxed. So it was all from day one very easy to work with him. He was very supportive, and you saw in everything that he was so experienced, you know. I mean, he just, yeah, for him it didn't seem to be difficult in any way to get focused and to do every scene in one take. And so yeah, I learned a lot from working with him, and it was really nice too. I mean, we had fun during shooting. He was making jokes, and when we had more difficult scenes, he would support me or guide me, or when sometimes there was some confusion, usually because of the language, then and if there was no time, for instance, in an outdoor shoot or something, to communicate directly with the director, he was always helping me and trying to just explain to me what was going on. So it was super nice, and yeah, it was very positive and supportive throughout the whole shoot. So it was a great experience, and I realize now how lucky I am, because everybody's like sending me messages like, oh, you're so lucky to work with our legend. So I was like, yeah, I guess I am. I was very impressed by every crew member in our crew. I mean, yeah, what you're saying, everybody is from huge importance. If there's no light, we cannot shoot. If there's no sound, if there's no food, people are unhappy. So, and I was really impressed by the hard work they did. I mean, sometimes we had long days, and then, you know, I was tired, and I didn't even, in between scenes, they would take care of me so well and make sure that I was rested. And I was like, oh my God, how tired must they be? You know, they wake up earlier than I do, and they go to bed later than I do, and they're still smiling and shining, and because everybody was so positive and friendly. And I tried to learn Malayalam a little bit so I could communicate better, so, you know, and they were helping me too. So the first thing I learned obviously was Namaskaram, Sugamano, in the Verifeshe Sham, Kurichu, Baksham Kurichu. So it was kind of, but yeah, I was really impressed by the technical crew, the way they were so quick in changing everything. Also, the editors, I didn't really have experiences with being able to see the material so quickly right after we filmed it. In Holland, usually that takes longer, also because we have live recording, so the sound needs to be, yeah, I don't know, they just take more time for it, maybe because it's funded by the government, so it can take ages. So yeah, it was really nice. The director, Salamka, was amazing. He was so, I mean, he, from the first day, he was very concerned about me being happy, and, you know, because I was away from my family, and so he did everything in order to make me feel comfortable. And apart from that, you know, doing the scenes and everything, it was really nice working with him, even when sometimes, you know, we found ways to communicate even without sometimes being completely able to speak the same language perfectly. He was so flexible. If I wanted to do a take once more, even when he was happy with it, that was fine. And, you know, it was really nice. And he had a very good vision, so it was, yeah, I felt really happy to be able to work with him. The associates were all really nice. They, you know, were also, I don't know, it just became, in the end, it became kind of a family. The last shooting days, shooting night, when our rep was, I think, at 1 at night or something, really late, and I just had to cry because it was so, yeah, it's so intense to work with a group for such a long time, and everybody has their small, you have something with everybody, you know, the person who does your makeup, the person who always gives you coffee without sugar, and, you know, it's like these little things you have with every member in the crew, and that was, yeah, really special.